Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Monday afternoon. I wanted to stop on the way home from work and just give you some updates and give you a little bit of breaking news as well. I also have a very good passage that I will share with you towards the end, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that one because it's a good one. It will uplift you. I promise. I promise. All right, a couple of breaking things. Also, more evidence that grocery prices are going to soar. It really looks like they will. And more evidence that society is out of control. And some good news. I'm going to start with good news. The United States Supreme Court reversed the Colorado decision to leave Trump off of the ballot. So they ruled that Trump will remain on the ballot. So whether you love him or hate him, he should be on the ballot. Now, again, this is not an endorsement necessarily. This is not a bash on him. It's neither. I'm just reporting what the Supreme Court ruled, which I believe is the correct decision. It said that they ruled it was a unanimous 9-0 decision to leave him on that ballot. So that's saying a lot. Texas also, let's move to Texas. The Texas new law goes into effect. The Federal Appeals Court did rule that Texas law enforcement is now authorized to arrest and detain any illegal immigrant crossing the border if the Supreme Court does not intervene. That's a big if, but I mean, they should be able to do that. Hello, they're breaking the law. So they should be able to arrest and detain somebody illegally crossing through. I mean, it only makes sense, But this clown world that we're in does not make sense in many cases, as we know, as we have been able to see. So that's also a bit of good news. All right. Also, grocery prices. Y'all. And I mentioned this in my last video. And somebody commented, I believe it was in yesterday's video, that they were at and y'all might have seen it, but they were at a grocery store. Didn't mention the grocery store, but they overheard a couple of grocery store workers, that were talking about how the prices are about to go up. And one of the ladies said that she overheard one of the workers say that grocery prices are going to go up tremendously and soon. And she had in her hand a list of items that are going to go up in price. And she says, made a comment, something to the effect of, how am I going to keep this store open? More like, how am I going to afford the dang groceries, right? We're in for tough times on that, y'all. We definitely are. I really think that, concerning words from a grocery worker, I mean, that's one thing, they're definitely going to go up. They could go up scary levels. And they've been going up. They're already crazy priced right now. Several things are in play here. You got farmers, like I mentioned yesterday, farmers being pinched every which way possible. The rising cost of raw materials, fertilizer, commodities. There's a huge slowdown in some parts of global commerce, especially over in the Middle East because of what's going on in the conflicts over there. That's not helping. And then a lump on top of that, inflation. And it just keeps getting passed down to us, right? Also, I think, and this is not talked about a lot, but I think it's just straight out gouging. I think we're seeing just straight up, and I don't like to use the word greed so much, but I believe that is in play here. I believe there's just straight up gouging, y'all, the prices, because people have to eat, and especially on the big popular items and all that, just like they're doing with automotive and housing. It's just gouging. It is. It should be. It's just like highway robbery out there, what we see now. It really is. Also, More evidence that society, y'all, and this story escaped me at first, but one of y'all reminded me of it. But at least it was Saturday, Six Flags, an amusement park now, it's been around forever. Six Flags of over Georgia opened for the season this past Saturday. And an incident happened. You can call it an incident, but later in the day, like late afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock, it said that shots were fired. People are scrambling all over the place. Get this now, 500 to 600 people running through the park, fighting, brawling, knocking people over, attacking people. At Six Flags over Georgia, an amusement park now. Broad daylight on a Saturday. It's a dang shame, man. It's a shame. Society is crumbling apart. It really is. Now, keep in mind, this is in Metro Atlanta. It's not what it used to be. And it's really sad. It really is. And Miss Dawg and I were talking about it. You know, we used to go to Six Flags over Georgia in our youth and as young adults, and pile in the car, pile in the truck, and just drive up there and go and not have a care in the world, not worry about crime, not worry about people brawling and ransacking and running riots and stuff. It's unreal. I mean, we would go there and actually, it was actually fun. Not a care in the world, carefree. Imagine that. Imagine going to an amusement park and not have to worry about gunshots. Or somebody attacking you, trying to rob you, among other things. But that's where we are. That's why we must have our head on a swivel no matter where we are, whether we're at an amusement park, a park, no matter if we're in a safe part of town, it don't matter anymore. Grocery store, school, work, church. I mean, we just don't ever know. Also, a common question, and I mentioned this before, you see a lot of videos on this, and I just have more comments on it, but the common question now is, how are people affording life? Well, I believe, and I've looked at a lot of videos, and I look at a lot of comments, and just based on a lot of people's responses to the question, how are people affording life? They're not. A lot of them are not. Or on a limited basis, quasi basis, but many of them are still working, maybe working more than one job, but still having to do things like live it with parents, live with other family members, go in together, cobble their resources together to get a place or apartment or house or whatever, or rent, and barely make it. If not, they're really not making it. You got a whole generation priced out of houses. And then the question is like, well, how are these people affording $1,000 a month car payments? Well, a lot of them are also saying, well, you know what? I can't afford a house, and I'm making sacrifices here, and I'm working hard. I want to have what car I want. I'm signing up for the $1,000 monthly payment. The rationing is, I'm living for today. This world is going crazy, and we're not promised tomorrow. I'm living for today. This is what they're saying. A lot of people are saying, especially the younger generation, and some older, of course. It's interesting. Living for today. And one comment said, you know, if housing was back to earth like it should be, my mortgage should be around $1,000. But it's like double that nowadays. I can't afford that, so I'm living with somebody else, or I'm living with my parents, or whatever the case is. So I'm getting I'm getting the truck I want. That's where my $1,000 is going, or part of it is. You know, kind of see that, but then again, I could argue, you know, that don't still, I would never sign up for $1,000 car payment. I don't care what my living situation was or what have you. There's no way. The way these prices are now on automobiles, no. Do not pay that. Don't. Let them vehicles sit. Because that's another gouging right there. Pure greed. And people are paying it. That's why they keep the prices up. People are coming in and paying this stuff. It's insane. It really is. Also, another comment made about it 2 videos ago. A commenter said that they live at the around the Alabama-Georgia border at a large box store, one of those big warehouse box stores. I won't name it. But they noticed they were at their shopping. And this sounded like a fairly rural area. But busloads of, let's just say, people who are in the country, not legally, all over the place, staring them down, intimidating them. Some were following them around because they weren't pushing a cart, and just following them around and looking at them and just making them feel super uncomfortable. Now, this is in a rural area now, in a large, big-name box store. I'm hearing more and more of this every day. It's more than concerning. It's just downright dangerous. And it's just beginning, y'all. It's just beginning. If you've been experiencing this, let us know in the comments. But I'm starting to hear more of it. But now the person who made this comment did say, you know, we carry protection, and you know, we were fine. We stared them back down, and you know, and everything was fine. They backed off. But yeah, there's that. So also verse, I can't forget the verse, y'all. The passage. All right. This is from John, I believe it's John 15. Let me make sure. I gotta make sure on this. I believe John 16. Anyway, starting to verse 31, where Jesus is talking to the disciples, and towards the end there, and he says, start with verse 31. Now do you believe? Jesus replied, a time is coming, and in fact has come, when you will be scattered, each to your own home. You will leave me all alone. Yet I am not alone, for my Father is with me. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Amen. In this world we will have trouble. We are not promised an easy time. But again, there's so many examples, you know, that essentially say a similar thing, is that we're going to have trouble. We're going to have the storms. But remember, he's in the boat with you. He'll never forsake you. Stay close to Jesus, and let's keep in prayer. And let's be safe out there. Be careful. God bless you, and I will see you soon.